Hi Flosstube! This is Stephanie, the Ivy House Crafter, and this is my third attempt starting this video. The first time I just kept bloopering. I wasn't doing so well. The second time I thought I pressed record and I didn't, and my camera shut itself off without recording anything. So here I am again. We had our sort of spring break this week. That is in air quotes because we homeschool, so every day is a break, really. Not really, but yeah, we pretty much took the week off, and we didn't really do anything super exciting. We are laid back, we're homebodies. I guess our idea of a good time is hanging out at home. We did go to a show at the planetarium here in Salt Lake. We went to their 3D IMAX theater and watched a show about dogs and their superpowers. There was a lady who trained her dog from like a puppy all the way until she was able to certify as a search and rescue dog, and that was really cool. There was a search and rescue water dog in Italy, and one who specialized in finding like skiers and like people who were lost in an avalanche. There was, let's see, who else? The dog who surfboards. That one was cute. Anyway, by the end of it, I was just like, oh, I love dogs so much. I want to get a dog. We have to get a dog. I want a dog. But then I looked up on YouTube just everything that goes into taking care of a dog, and like structuring a home to be a good home for a dog, and I don't think that we could handle it at this point, so no dog for us. We'll just stick with our lazy cat, and I say lazy in the most affectionate way possible. Anyway, let's see, one night we went out to all you can eat for dinner. Other than that, it's just been a really laid-back, relaxed week. The kids have played outside, and they've played inside, and I've done some stitching. I didn't stitch as much this week as I generally do. Kind of lost my stitchy bug a little bit, but you know, anyway, so now that I'm talking about stitching, let's actually talk about the stitching. Moving on to whips. I spent Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah, you can see the gears rolling in my head as I was trying to figure out what day did I do what. Anyway, Tuesday and Wednesday I worked on Forever and Ever by Cottage Garden Samplings, and this is number 1 of the Songbird's Garden series. And here it is right now. So I added this little green bud right here. Last time, like, this was all done, but I just needed to finish the bud. And I added all these leaves and stuff, and this cute little pink bud. And the house, it is so tiny. Look at how little that house is. It's so cute. So this is where I am on Forever and Ever. I'm stitching this 1/2 on 36 count Tyco Edinburgh linen with the DMC conversion. and it's just very sweet. I have all the others in the series that have come out so far. I just received number 9. There's Beauty and Simplicity, and it is so pretty. It reminds me of my mom. It features daisies, and that's one of her favorite flowers. Anyway, so when I'm done with this one, I think I want to always have one of these going, but only one at a time, because otherwise they'll sort of compete for attention. So when I'm done with this one, I'll move on to number 2. Okay, so that was Tuesday and Wednesday. On Thursday, I got out While Lilies Flourish, and this is designed by me and available for sale in my Etsy shop. And this time I worked on the border. Now if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the little bit of fiasco that I had with this. So on Instagram, I'm at Ivy House Crafter. It's all one word. So Thursday, I spent all day on this, and I took the vine of the border. I took it. Let's see. I had been here, and I took it all the way up and around, and I got to here. And at this point, I was able to cross-reference my counting and like where I was based on what I had already stitched. Referencing this deer that I had, and I found out to my dismay that I was 2 stitches off. And so I was like counting all of this stuff and trying to see, was my mistake in here? No, it was in the border. So I counted back, and I found that I had made 1 mistake up here, but that only accounted for being 1 stitch off, and I counted and counted and counted and counted. Right here is where my other mistake was. And so I had to unstitch all of that. It took me 2 hours to undo most of a day's worth of stitching. So all I had left was like this much. I was pretty upset. And I went to bed. Anyway, I'm going to stop showing it on the paper and actually show the project. I did pick it up again on Friday, and so like I said, this is where the mistake was, or this is where I was when I realized my mistake. And so I unpicked up here, all along here, and to here, right here. And then, so on Friday, I didn't do a lot on this. I just brought it up and around here, and I was tired of this border. So that got put away. Anyway, this is where it is at right now. I'm still a little bit peeved at this particular piece. And I don't know when I'll pick this one up again. It's not necessarily in timeout, but its rotation is over, and that's that. So that is While Lilies Flourish. I'm stitching it 1/1 on 18 count vintage country mocha. And then my stitching really slowed down. I just wasn't feeling like stitching very much. It was around this time that I, in my clumsiness, jammed my toe against a box that I was walking by. There's a possibility that I broke it, but it's healing a lot faster than the last time I broke my toe, so I think it's probably just like sprained or jammed, or I don't know. It was like one great big bruise and really painful, but it's doing a lot better now. Anyway, you'd think that being laid up with an injured toe would be the perfect excuse for stitching, but instead I was just like playing on my phone and watching videos and stuff. Bad stitcher. Oh well. What I picked up next was this piece. This is a sketch of some dolphins that I did several years ago, and then I uploaded it to pic2pat.com, and it became this lovely pattern. Last time I showed this was quite a while ago, and I had 2 pages done, and so when I pulled it out on Saturday, I started on the next page. For those who haven't been following for quite a while, I did grid this fabric, but this is the first page I did, and when I went through and took the gridding thread out, I didn't like that. It's not really easy to tell, but there was like little divots where the gridding thread had been, and I didn't care for that. And also, I guess the thread that I used to grid was not the best as far as gridding, and so I had in many instances split the thread while stitching, and it was really hard to get some of the threads out. Anyway, so when I did this page up here, I removed the gridding and I gridded it with some fishing line instead, which worked okay, but I just didn't care for it so much. So this time I just picked out just what I needed to for this particular page, and I'm trying it without gridding, so we'll see how that goes. I did okay so far, so yeah. This is Dolphin Sketch, and this is 2/2 on 28 count. I honestly don't remember what the fabric is. It's an even weave from MCG Textiles that I bought. I mean, this is my second oldest whip. This was way back last year, and yeah, I don't remember the color name, but it doesn't matter because it's just an off-white, and it won't really even be showing except maybe a little bit around the outside when it's done and framed. So that was my stitching this week. I didn't do any stitching yesterday, and I haven't done any this morning. Maybe I just need to spin my decision roulette wheel and just take off and do whatever it says. I don't know. I forgot to mention this while I was filming, so I'm just popping this in someplace random in the video. I ordered a scissor fob from Jennifer Upton, and that came this week, and it is so pretty. Look at that. Just the prettiest scissor fob ever. I broke the unwritten rule. This has been on my scissors almost all week, and I love it so much. If you are in need of a beautiful button scissor fob like this, Jennifer Upton has an Etsy shop, and I will be linking that below. So worth it. They're just so lovely. Anyway, back to wherever you are in the video. Oh, there's a bird outside the window. Yeah, we've been enjoying some spring weather. And as the weather gets warmer, I tend to want to do more as far as like fresh produce and then preserving that fresh produce, even though I'm terrible at gardening and it's not really garden harvest season, so it's not really preserving season anyway. This is just the way my brain works. I'm like, springtime, I want to preserve stuff. But like a fresh preserving, which brings us to fermenting. By the way, that's all the cross-stitch stuff I have. If you're only here for cross-stitch, the rest of what I'm going to be talking about is fermenting and hula hooping. So if you're not interested in that, you can go ahead and move on to your next video. It's been great talking with you. Enjoy. If you are interested in other random stuff that I do, then you can stick around. So one of the whole food plant-based Facebook groups that I'm in, somebody posted that she had just learned how to ferment vegetables, and how excited she was about that, which reminded me when I learned to ferment vegetables, and I was like all excited about it. And I haven't done any fermenting in a while, and I was like, I gotta get out my fermenting stuff, which really isn't much. Jars with plastic lids, distilled water, uniodized salt. That's all you really need, that and vegetables. So anyway, I was reminded of two of my absolute favorite fermented recipes, and I'm going to show them right now. Part of the bloopers of my first try was one of these tipped over on the couch and the lid wasn't on thoroughly, and so I was like losing some brine. It was leaking all over. I was like, ah! So anyway, the first one is this fermented salsa. This has been going for a couple days. I hope you're not getting too much glare. I have like the window here and the lamp there and the light there, so there's a lot of light. But it's basically just make a salsa with, you know, tomatoes and peppers and onions and garlic and cilantro and lime and salt. Sea salt, not iodized. And you pack it into your jars, and then you just let it sit on the counter for 2 or 3 days. And the beneficial bacteria that already exists on the vegetables, it kind of ferments it, it grows, it flourishes. You use the salt and, you know, keep the jar shut, and everything stays in the brine to kill off the bad bacteria so it doesn't go bad or anything. And basically you end up with probiotic salsa, and it's really good. It deepens the flavor, it gives it a bit of a tang. Anyway, I love this salsa, and it's ready either this afternoon or maybe tomorrow. So really looking forward to this. And it smells, oh, it smells really, really good. And the other recipe that I got out and worked on is pickles. So here's my dill pickles. And this one, it's just cucumbers. I wish I had pickling cucumbers or English cucumber. Those work a little bit better. But I couldn't find any in the grocery store when I went yesterday. It's not really that season for pickling cucumbers and stuff. But yeah, this jar is wet. This is the one that was leaking. Anyway, so it's cucumbers, and you just pack them into the bottle, and then there's a brine that's just water and salt. Now you put the pickles in, the cucumbers, and then pack dill in, so you can kind of see the dill weed up here. And you can add garlic, peppercorns, red pepper flakes, jalapeno, carrots, whatever else you want, and pour the brine over it. And then I put a slice of onion on just to keep the cucumbers submerged, so that they stay in the brine. And once again, you know, the good bacteria grows and the bad doesn't. And this goes for 3 to 7 days, depending on the temperature, the size of the pickle pieces. and they're really, really yummy homemade dill pickles. And again, probiotics, so that's really cool. So that's one of the non-stitchy things that I've been doing. And now I'm wanting to get a head of cabbage and make some sauerkraut. Maybe some kimchi. That stuff's fun. Yeah, fermenting is fun. I'll link those 2 recipes below for anyone who's interested. And the other thing that I've been all into this week, you may recall back in, I think it was about January, I started hula hooping. I never showed it on the video, but I talked about it a couple times. Well, I've continued to practice and have been able to learn not a bad amount. And on Saturday, I took a video of myself hula hooping. I learned a few things. I learned that my body does not look the same on video as it does in my head. That was an interesting experience, watching myself hoop and realizing, do I look like that? I need to lose weight, I need to work out, I need to do all kinds of stuff. But I mean, it is what it is. I weigh what I weigh. I'm shaped how I'm shaped. Anyway, but it was also a good learning tool as far as, you know, seeing what I need to work on. You know, I need to kind of stand up straighter, work a little bit on my posture. I need to figure out what to do with my hands sometimes. I need to not make silly faces sometimes. I tend to do that a lot while I'm hooping, which is kind of weird. But yeah, it was kind of fun to watch back the video of myself hooping. And for your entertainment, I will be including that video at the end of this one. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to set it to music or just stick with the ambient sounds of like birds and occasional wind chimes in the background. I'm going to try to do music, and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I think that is all that I have right now. Hopefully I get some more stitching done next week. I've kind of got just different desires battling for my time. I want to keep hooping because I've been having more fun with that and learning a couple new things, and so I want to be up and moving and hooping. And also the video reminded me maybe I shouldn't be sedentary as much as I am, but I also want to keep stitching, which is indeed very sedentary. So, you know, there's got to be a balance there somewhere between the enjoyment I get out of sitting very, very still and, you know, moving only my arm, and the need for movement and exercise and making my heart pound and, you know, using my body. This is not my typical Flosstube video. That's okay. I have several Ort catchers that I just need to make. That sounds funny, but I have the fabric cut into the squares, and I've got the interfacing and the pattern traced onto it that I just need to sew around them and cut them out and turn them and hand sew the sides and add the snaps. So they're in the very early stages, but I have a lot that are ready to be made. And I still need to make more project bags for myself for Stitch Mania, because that is coming up in just a couple weeks. And I don't have enough project bags, so yeah, I need to there's so many things that I need to do, so many things that I want to do, and way too much time spent sitting on my phone playing games and not doing any of the things that I need or want to do. So I need to work on that. Okay, so here's the video of me hula hooping in my backyard with my giant hula hoop. Seriously, when you see it, you're gonna be like, I've never seen a hoop that big. Probably. So here it is. Enjoy and happy stitching. Bye.